That's a problem. That's a bigger problem. He's still not down. And oh boy, is he mad. Meet the true final boss of Ocarina of Time 3D, Ganon. It wouldn't be a Zelda game without Ocarina of Time. It wouldn't be a Zelda game without Ganon going full beast mode. There's no way he's going to hold me back again. This time we fight together. That might be a bit easier said than done, Navi. Ganon has already knocked your Master Sword out of your hands. Even if you're not wielding it, you can't use it for this fight. At least to start. But we got a Biggoron sword, so we might be able to deal with that. His slashes are huge. Ganon, Navi really can't help you with this. There's a few things you can do, though. The light arrows pierce against evil. Shoot him in the face with them, and roll behind him, you'll notice his tail. This is his weak point. Now, if you're really crazy, you can actually roll underneath him, like this. But it's a bit risky. And try not to get sword slung too much. Otherwise, you can hear Zelda crying out in pain. Because apparently she's tethered to us. I know she's crying because she's afraid that you're going to get killed, but still. Stun him with the light arrows, slash him with the sword, rinse and repeat. If you don't have the Biggoron sword, the Megaton Hammer does the same exact job. Ow! And if for some reason you run low on hearts as well, thankfully the debris around this arena, Ganon can also smash with his sword. You're gonna really want to be careful though, because you need only so much magic for this. There we go. Bombs! That isn't helpful at all. That should help though. Another big sword slash, and yes, this is also the same boss they wound up using for good old Smash Bros. Ultimate. Kinda wild to think that they actually brought this concept back for that game. Dodge out of the way of that slash, though. Ganon actually had a much differently planned boss fight in the original version. In early stages of development, they wanted him to be much, much bigger, where you would actually scale the beast and attack him like a boss from Shadow of the Colossus. They ultimately passed on that because the N64 couldn't really do that, but it certainly would have been quite interesting to watch. Keep striking away at that tail, though. He takes a lot of damage for a boss. What's up, bro? You think you can hit me? I don't think you can hit me. I think I can just get underneath you. Deal enough damage and he will be stunned. Sub, the Master Sword is here. Hurry up! Since he's down for a second, that is our chance to retreat and get the Master Sword back with Zelda. Use the Master Sword. Destroy Ganon with the Sacred Sword. You reobtain the sword, but let's not. Let's use the Biggoron sword. After all, it does more damage. Why not? And he wakes back up soon after. But that doesn't mean he's going to be able to stop us. Just easily roll underneath him and you can rinse and repeat the methods. As you'll very easily see, once you start getting him into a pattern, this fight isn't as bad as it looks. It just seems intimidating because of Ganon's massive size. However, the devs are a bit crappy about this. This fight cannot be won with the Biggoron sword. You can use it for most of the fight, but the finishing blow cannot be done with this thing. You have to use the Blade of Evil's Bane, the Master Sword, in order to finish off Ganon. It doesn't work otherwise. So let's give him the old 1-2. There's the 1. And there's the 2. Honestly, I think it's a good bit of storytelling to know that they actually can't use the Biggoron sword to end the game. Because this is the Blade of Evil's Bane, it makes sense that it's the thing that can put away Ganon once and for all. Just roll under. I do appreciate this background music as well. The background music for Ocarina of Time for the final battle is excellent. As is most of the music of the game, of course, but this background track has always resonated with me. Because I'm always a fan of one-on-one duel bosses like this. But we are taking a lot of damage, so I need to be careful. Get behind him. You can't get more than one slash on his tail at once, unfortunately. So you really got to play your moves carefully. I am out of magic, so we're doing this the old-fashioned way. If we had something like a green potion, we could have restored that, but I don't think we need it. We're going to do this raw dog. Assuming I don't get myself killed. Well, underneath. And he's down! I'm using my power to hold the evil king. You use your sword and deliver the final blow. Well, you heard the lady. Ganon, from Hyrule's heart, I stab at thee. And that's that. 6 sages, now! Apparently she fell over while she was casting that incantation. That's been unfortunate. Ancient creators of Hyrule, now open the sealed door and send the evil incarnation of darkness into the void of the evil realm. You. Curse you, Zelda. Curse you, sages. Curse you, Sub-Zero. Someday, when this seal is broken, that is when I will exterminate your descendants. As long as the Triforce of Power is in my hand. Thank you, Sub-Zero. Thanks to you, Ganondorf has been sealed inside the evil realm. Thus, peace will once again reign in this world. For a time. All the tragedy that has befallen Hyrule was my doing. I was so young, I could not comprehend the consequences of trying to control the Sacred Realm. I dragged you into it too. Now it is time for me to make up for my mistakes. You must lay the Masked Sword to rest and close the Door of Time. However, by doing this, the road between times will be closed. Sub-Zero, give the Ocarina to me. As a sage, I can return you to original time with it. Peace has returned to Hyrule. It is time for us to say goodbye. Now go home, Sub-Zero. Regain your lost time. Home. Where you're supposed to be. The way you're supposed to be. Thank you, Sub-Zero. Goodbye. And that's it. That is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time 3D. It's been fun coming back to this. It's actually been a long time since I played Ocarina of Time 3D. And for the first 3D Zelda, as well as being regarded as one of the greatest games of all time, I still think Ocarina of Time holds up pretty well. I know some people who love to just bash on this game and say it's outdated or it's aged compared to the other games. Of course it's aged. It's an N64 title. It's over 20 years old. Feel old yet? But it's still a good game at the end of the day, and I think that's important to note. Ocarina of Time was the jump to 3D the series needed. Do I think it's best game ever? No, I don't think it's that. But it did everything it should have done to transition the series to 3D. It was the same leap that Mario 64 did, that Metroid Prime would later do, and so many other series tried and failed to do, that Ocarina of Time succeeded at. And I think the game, even if it's not a masterpiece, is a classic and should be respected as such. I may not have grown up on the original N64 version, but the 3DS version, in my opinion, is the superior version. It fixes some of the issues that were prevalent with the original, it adds new stuff, it changes some things around to make them a bit more interesting, I would say, and things just work better in this version. Having iron boots and hover boots as actual items instead of gear makes it so much better, by default. And the water temple's less annoying. What can I say, but I love this game. I don't know if it's my favorite Zelda game, but it's certainly up there. And of course, it's time for Epona's song to kick in. But I think the important thing is just how much this game impacted the gaming industry as a whole, and its legacy as a whole as well. But even the end credits, you can really see just how much stuff has changed for this game, even in universe. Like, the effects of what you did in the future still linger. The Deku Tree's offspring managed to survive, the Gorons are safe from the wrath of the dragon, the Zora are thawing out, like, everything is going back to normal. All thanks to your efforts. You don't really get to see something like that in a lot of adventure games, because a lot of games push for big open worlds or gloomy atmospheres, but I think this was the perfect game to have that high bar set for adventure games. Because when you really break it down, Ocarina of Time is pretty simple at the end of the day. But I think that's a good thing. Because if you're listening close, even the most simple of tunes can carry the most impact. Besides, it's time to party. Even Ingo's partying, you know it's a good time. Everyone just is happier now. Because we put a stop to the menace that was causing so much terror across the world. We got the Zoras, we got the town square folks, we got Gorons, we got Gerudo, we got everyone. We even got the weird carpet guy. And what the fuck? I guess the windmill guy is here as well. Goodness. Even Bean guy's here. But everyone gets a chance to shine. This may not be my favorite cast of a Zelda game, but it's certainly a cast that's had a lot and just has grown on me a lot over the years as well. 8 carpenters! I thought it was only 4. And there's my one true love. Clearly that's Link's one true pairing partner is Malon. There's Happy Mask Salesman. We'll see you again in Majora's Mask. What a game. But I suppose the question of the day that always comes up, what's next after this? Because this is the big game that ends it, but what's the future? Am I going to do another Zelda game next? No. God, no. Zeldas are a bit too long for me to do consecutively, and I don't like doing the same series over and over again. Oh, great. It's the great asshole. But at least he's hanging out with the other great asshole, the Zora King. But in terms of what's coming next, I can't really say. I've been undecided on what project is coming next. So I think that might have to be put on hold for now, and I unfortunately can't give you a hint as to what's to come. Hopefully I'll have something in the near future to share, but for now, things are mostly just still being figured out. But luckily, even the sages get to have a happy ending to some degree. They're not just stuck in the sacred realm, thankfully. Everyone gets a chance to come out. Executive producer Hiroshi Yamauchi? That is weird to see in a game released in 2011. Rest in peace, Yamauchi-san. Did you miss me? There it is. There's the actual staff credits for this game. Because remember, the 3DS port did have its own team, Grezzo, the guys who would later port Majora's Mask 3D, as well as do Ever Oasis. Which, if you'd ever played that game, I recommend it. It's a really underappreciated game. I do love this remix of Hyrule Field. But for now, I think it's best that I just let the credits play out and do their thing, because I have nothing else to say. This game is a classic, maybe not a masterpiece, like it may have been once considered, but still a classic, and I think it's something that everyone should play at least once. So, until next time, I will see you guys at next project, but till then, ice out. Rest in peace, Iwata-san. You will always be remembered. And thank you to everyone who made this game. The end.